Your life follows the direction of your thoughts. Think about that just for a moment. Every day, you have thousands of thoughts. Some build you up. Some tear you down. Some move you forward. Some hold you back. And over time, those thoughts become beliefs. Those beliefs become actions. Those actions become results. That is why success begins in a place most people never see: the mind. Many people think success starts with money, or opportunity, or talent, but it doesn't. Success starts with the way you think. You cannot have a positive life with a negative mind. Now, positive thinking is not pretending problems don't exist. It is not ignoring difficulties. It is not living in fantasy. Positive thinking is choosing to believe that challenges can be overcome, that setbacks can teach you, that your future can be better than your past. Because what you believe influences what you do, and what you do determines what you become. Think about two people facing the same obstacle. One says, "This is impossible." The other says, "This is difficult, but I can figure it out." Same obstacle, different thinking, different outcome, because the mind is powerful. If you fill it with doubt, you will hesitate. If you fill it with fear, you will stop. If you fill it with possibility, you will act. Success is predictable. It's not luck and it's not magic. It's hard work and discipline. But hard work and discipline are easier when your mind is working for you instead of against you. The greatest battle in life is not outside of you. It is inside of you. The battle between faith and fear, belief and doubt, possibility and limitation. And the side that wins shapes your future. We're going to explore how positive thinking creates success, how your thoughts influence your actions, how your attitude shapes your opportunities, and how a stronger mindset can transform your entire life. Because when you change your thinking, you begin changing your future. And that is where success begins. In the mind. Before it ever appears in the world, you become what you think about most of the time. Think about that. Really think about it. Every result in your life begins with a thought. Every action, every decision, every habit, it all starts in the mind. Before a person builds a successful life, they first build a successful mindset. Before a person achieves a goal, they first believe it is possible. That is why your thoughts matter, more than most people realize. Your life follows the direction of your dominant thoughts. Now understand this. Your mind is like a garden. Every day, seeds are being planted. Some seeds are positive. Some seeds are negative. Some seeds grow confidence. Some seeds grow doubt. And whatever you plant consistently will eventually grow. If you constantly think, "I can't do this. I am not good enough. I will probably fail," those thoughts begin to shape your actions. You hesitate. You procrastinate. You avoid opportunities. Not because you lack ability, but because your thoughts have convinced you to stay small. And over time, those thoughts become your reality. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine a person who says, "I can learn. I can improve. I can find a way." Do they face challenges? Of course. Do they experience setbacks? Absolutely. But their thinking pushes them forward instead of holding them back, because positive thinking creates possibility. The greatest limitation is often not in your circumstances. It is in your thinking. Think about how many opportunities people miss because of fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of looking foolish. And where does fear begin? In the mind. It begins with a thought. A thought, repeated often enough, becomes a belief. And a belief influences behavior. That is why guarding your thoughts is so important. Because your mind is constantly listening to you. The words you speak to yourself matter. The stories you tell yourself matter. The beliefs you repeat matter. They are shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. Now listen carefully. Positive thinking does not mean pretending everything is perfect. It does not mean ignoring problems. It does not mean living in fantasy. Positive thinking means believing that problems can be solved, that challenges can be overcome, that setbacks can teach valuable lessons. It is a mindset of possibility, and possibility creates action. When you believe something is possible, you begin looking for ways to make it happen. That is the power of belief. The mind begins searching for solutions, searching for opportunities, searching for ways forward, instead of searching for excuses. Now think about successful people. They are not successful because they never face difficulties. They are successful because they think differently about difficulties. Where others see obstacles, they see lessons. Where others see failure, they see feedback. Where others see limits, they see possibilities. And that difference changes everything, because your thoughts influence your actions, and your actions influence your results. It is a chain. Thoughts become beliefs. Beliefs become actions. Actions become habits. Habits become results. That is why success begins in the mind long before it appears in reality. Change your thinking, and you begin changing your life. So pay attention to what you think. Pay attention to what you believe. Pay attention to the conversations happening inside your own mind, because those conversations are creating your future. If you want a better life, start with better thoughts. If you want greater success, develop greater belief. If you want different results, begin with a different mindset. Because every great achievement begins the same way, with a thought that says, it is possible. And from that thought, an entirely new life can begin. Think better, believe bigger, and remember your thoughts are creating the reality you will live tomorrow. Success begins long before the reward arrives. It begins with the way you think. Think about that. Most people believe success starts with action, and action is important, very important. But before action comes a decision. Before a decision comes a belief. And before a belief comes a thought. Everything begins in the mind. That is why positive thinking is so powerful. Not because it magically changes your circumstances, but because it changes you. And when you change, your results begin to change. For things to change, you have to change. Now understand something important. Positive thinking is not wishful thinking. It is not sitting in a chair and hoping life gets better. It is developing a mindset that looks for possibilities instead of limitations, solutions instead of excuses, growth instead of defeat. Think about two people facing the exact same problem. One says, "This is impossible." The other says, "This is difficult, but there must be a way." Who is more likely to succeed? The person who believes there is a way, because belief creates effort, and effort creates results. When you think positively, you approach challenges differently. You become more willing to try, more willing to learn, more willing to persist. And persistence is often what creates success. The person who keeps going usually wins. Now think about confidence. Where does confidence come from? Many people believe confidence comes after success, but often it works the other way around. Confidence begins with belief. Believing you can learn. Believing you can improve. Believing you can grow stronger. And that belief influences your actions. You take more chances. You speak with more certainty. You pursue bigger goals. Not because success is guaranteed, but because you believe progress is possible. That is positive thinking in action. Now let's talk about failure. Everyone experiences failure. Everyone experiences setbacks. Everyone experiences disappointment. The difference is how they interpret those experiences. Negative thinkers often see failure as proof they should stop. Positive thinkers see failure as feedback, a lesson, a teacher, a stepping stone. Every setback contains a lesson if you are willing to look for it. That mindset changes everything. Because instead of giving up, you learn. Instead of quitting, you adapt. Instead of stopping, you continue. And every time you continue, you grow stronger. Now understand this deeply. Your mind is always looking for evidence. If you believe life is against you, your mind will search for proof. If you believe opportunities exist, your mind will search for those too. That is why your thoughts matter. They influence what you notice, what you focus on, what you pursue. And what you pursue often determines what you achieve. Positive thinking creates success because it keeps you moving forward. Not because it removes obstacles, but because it helps you face them. Not because it guarantees success, but because it increases the likelihood that you'll keep trying. And success often belongs to the person who stayed in the game the longest. Success is not magic. It is the result of small efforts repeated day after day. Positive thinking fuels those efforts. It helps you wake up and try again. It helps you believe when progress is slow. It helps you stay committed when others quit. And over time, those small efforts compound. The confidence grows. The skills improve. The opportunities increase. And what started as a positive thought eventually becomes a positive result. So choose your thoughts carefully. Feed your mind with possibility. Feed your mind with growth. Feed your mind with belief. Because success is not created by negativity. It is created by a mind that sees potential and acts on it. Think positively. Believe deeply. Act consistently. And watch how your life begins to change. The same wind blows on us all. The difference is in the set of the sail. Think about that. Life does not treat everyone differently. Not at first. Everyone faces problems. Everyone faces pressure. Everyone faces uncertainty. The difference is not in the obstacle. The difference is in the mind that faces it. Because some people look at obstacles and stop. Others look at the same obstacles and grow. Every problem carries the seed of an equal or greater opportunity. But most people never see the seed because they are too focused on the problem. They see difficulty. They see delay. They see resistance. And they conclude, this is the end of the road. But successful people see something different. They see a question, not a wall. They see a lesson, not a failure. They see a path, not a dead end. That is the power of perspective. Now think about this. An obstacle does not define your ability. It reveals your thinking. Two people can face the same situation. One becomes discouraged. The other becomes determined. Same situation. Different interpretation. Different outcome. Because life is not just what happens to you. It is how you interpret what happens to you. Your perspective is more powerful than your circumstances. Now let's go deeper. When most people face obstacles, they immediately ask, why is this happening to me? But successful people ask a different question. What can I learn from this? What can I do next? How can I grow from this? That shift is everything. Because the first question keeps you stuck. But the second question moves you forward. Now understand this clearly. Obstacles are not placed in your life to stop you. They are placed in your life to test you, to strengthen you, to prepare you. Because without resistance, there is no growth. Without challenge, there is no strength. Without difficulty, there is no development. What challenges you, changes you. Think about nature. A tree grows stronger when the wind blows against it. If there is no wind, the tree becomes weak. Life works the same way. Your challenges are not your enemies. They are your training ground. Now imagine two people starting the same journey. One avoids difficulty. The other embraces it. One tries to make life easy. The other tries to become stronger. Years later, their results will not be the same because one avoided growth and the other built it. Now listen carefully. Opportunities are rarely obvious at first. They are often hidden inside problems, inside pressure, inside struggle. And most people never find them. because they stop too early. But those who persist, those who stay curious, those who stay open-minded, they discover something powerful. That what looked like a setback was actually a setup for growth, a setup for strength, a setup for opportunity. Difficulties often prepare ordinary people for extraordinary destinies. So when life becomes difficult, do not immediately reject it. Do not immediately fear it. Do not immediately quit. Look deeper. Ask better questions. Think differently. Stay open. Because opportunity is often disguised as challenge. And the people who succeed in life are not the ones who avoid obstacles. They are the ones who learn to see beyond them. So when others see walls, you see doors. When others see problems, you see possibilities. When others see limits, you see lessons. And that difference creates your future. See beyond the obstacle. Find the opportunity. And keep moving forward. Thinking alone is not enough. Action gives thought its power. Think about that. Many people misunderstand positive thinking. They think it means just believing, just hoping, just visualizing. But belief without action is empty. It is incomplete. Because life does not reward thoughts alone. It rewards what you do with those thoughts. Success is not what you wish for. It is what you work for. Now understand this clearly. Positive thinking is the beginning, but action is the bridge. A bridge between your ideas and your results, between your dreams and your reality. Without action, even the best mindset stays trapped in your mind. Now think about this. Two people can have the same positive thoughts. Both believe in success. Both believe in opportunity. Both believe in growth. But only one takes action. One studies. The other only thinks about studying. One practices. The other only thinks about improvement. One moves forward. The other waits for the perfect moment. And over time, their lives become very different. Because action is what separates potential from achievement. A goal is just a dream until action brings it to life. Now listen carefully. Positive thinking gives you direction, but action gives you results. Positive thinking helps you believe, but action helps you build. Positive thinking opens your mind, but action opens your future. Both are necessary, but action is what makes everything real. Now let's go deeper. Many people feel motivated. They feel inspired. They feel ready. But feeling is not enough, because feelings change. One day you feel strong. The next day you feel weak. One day you feel motivated. The next day you feel distracted. If you wait for feelings, you will stay stuck. But if you act anyway, you will move forward. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. That is where success is built. Not in motivation, but in consistency. Now think about successful people. They don't rely on feelings. They rely on habits. They don't wait for inspiration. They create action. They understand something important, that small actions repeated daily create extraordinary results. Reading one page, making one call, practicing one skill, completing one task. Small actions, but powerful over time, because success is not built in a day. It is built daily. What you do every day matters more than what you do once in a while. Now combine the two forces. Positive thinking gives you belief. Positive action gives you results. Belief without action is empty. Action without belief is weak. But together, they become powerful. Because when you believe in yourself and act on that belief, you begin to grow. You start building momentum. You start gaining confidence. You start seeing results. And those results reinforce your thinking. So it becomes a cycle. Positive thoughts, positive action, positive results, stronger thoughts. That is how success is created. Step by step, thought by thought, action by action. Now understand this deeply. You do not need perfect thinking. And you do not need perfect action. You just need consistent thinking and consistent action, because consistency is what transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Small disciplines repeated with consistency every day lead to great achievements. So think positively, but don't stop there. Act positively. Move forward. Take steps. Stay committed. Because success is not created in the mind alone, and it is not created in action alone. It is created when the two come together. Think with belief. Act with discipline. And success will follow. Your life is not shaped in a day. It is shaped by what you allow into your mind every day. Think about that. Slowly, carefully. Because your mind is always being influenced, always being shaped, always being fed. The question is not whether your mind is being influenced. The question is, by what? You cannot plant weeds in your mind and expect flowers in your life. Every day, something is entering your mind. What you watch, what you hear, what you read, what you talk about, who you spend time with. All of it matters, more than most people realize, because over time, input becomes identity. What you consume mentally becomes what you believe, and what you believe becomes how you live. Now think about this carefully. A person who constantly feeds their mind with negativity will slowly begin to see life negatively. They will doubt more. They will fear more. They will hesitate more. Not because life changed, but because their thinking changed. And a person who feeds their mind with positivity will begin to see possibility everywhere. They will look for solutions. They will expect growth. They will believe in better outcomes. Same world, different mind, different life. The mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant repeatedly will grow. Now understand this deeply. You cannot control everything that enters your life, but you can control what stays in your mind. And that is where your power is. Because your mind is not a dumping ground. It is a creation space. What you allow in shapes what comes out. Now think about successful people. They are very careful with their input, very intentional, very disciplined. They choose what they learn. They choose what they focus on. They choose who influences them because they understand something important. That greatness is not built by accident. It is built by design. What you repeatedly expose yourself to becomes what you eventually become. Now let's make this practical. If you want a stronger life, feed your mind stronger ideas. If you want success, feed your mind success thinking. If you want discipline, feed your mind disciplined habits. Because your environment is shaping you even when you are not aware of it. And if you are not careful, you will become a reflection of everything you consume. Now listen closely. You cannot expect a positive life if your mind is full of negativity. You cannot expect success if your thinking is filled with doubt. You cannot expect growth if your input is weak, because life always reflects your inner world. Change what enters your mind, and you begin changing what shows up in your life. Now the question becomes simple. What are you allowing into your mind daily? Is it building you or breaking you, strengthening you or weakening you? Because every choice matters. Every video, every conversation, every thought you entertain, they are shaping you quietly, slowly, powerfully. So be intentional, be selective, be disciplined. Guard your mind like it is your future, because it is. And remember this, success does not begin in the outside world. It begins in the inner world, in your thoughts, in your beliefs, in what you allow into your mind. So choose wisely. Feed your mind with strength, and your life will reflect strength. Because what enters your mind today will eventually shape your life tomorrow. Protect your mind, choose your input, and shape your future with intention. Your life is not shaped by one moment. It is shaped by what you repeat every day. Think about that. We have talked about the power of thinking, the power of belief, the power of opportunity, the power of action, and the power of what you allow into your mind. And all of it leads to one truth. Success is not an accident. It is a pattern of thoughts, a pattern of discipline, a pattern of consistent action. Success is predictable. It is not luck, and it is not magic. It is hard work and discipline. So don't take your mind lightly. Don't take your habits lightly. Don't take your daily choices lightly, because small decisions today become your life tomorrow. Now the responsibility is yours. Think better, act better, protect your mind, stay disciplined, and keep growing, because the life you want is not far away. It is built step by step, day by day, thought by thought. And if you stay consistent, if you stay focused, if you stay positive, everything begins to change. Believe in the process, trust your growth, and keep moving forward.